How's it going, guys? Dan Fagella here with MicroBJJ.com, and I'm here at Grappler's Planet to go into video number 2 of our Beating Bigger and Stronger Grapplers video series. In this video, we're going to talk about some guard pass variations for people who are bigger and stronger. So beating someone who's bigger and stronger from the top. So let's say I'm here, Tim's on bottom, I am on top. Now, if you're a student of the game of Jiu-Jitsu, and by that I mean if you watch high-level competitions, if you watch the best grapplers in the world, if you watch absolute divisions where you see Jiu-Jitsu black belts of a smaller size against Jiu-Jitsu black belts of a bigger size, you'll notice that as the smaller grappler, if I'm 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds lighter than my opponent, which sometimes is the case for me if I'm doing absolute divisions, you're not necessarily looking to settle into side control from top when you're working your pass game. It's more difficult than it is against someone your own size, although the lightweights you don't see that much of that stuff anyway, but it's difficult for me to get side control on someone who can very easily bench press 2-3 times my own weight. So oftentimes what you're looking for is to create a scramble, to set up either submissions or to set up back mount. Again, if you're a student of the game, if you watch the highest level absolute divisions, those are the trends you see. Those are the strategies that work. It's tough for me if I'm 128 pounds to get somebody who's 200 pounds, pass them and smear them flat. Just unrealistic. And if you watch yourself, Bruno Malfacine, any of the really good lighter weight grapplers, if they're fighting somebody bigger, they're also not generally going for that strategy. They're looking for a scramble where they can get a neck or an arm exposed, or they're looking to take the back. We're going to talk about the back take variations because we're going to focus on position today. So I'm going to talk about 2 different guard passes that I like to use against bigger and stronger guys in order to work my way towards the back, more so than try to smear them flat for a side control, which again, generally speaking, is a little bit less reasonable. Not impossible, but less reasonable. I'm here with Tim. I'm going to work first on a leg drag pass. So I'm going to tag Tim's head. So I'm leading with my right leg in this case. I step forward. I'm going to scoop underneath his ankle as I tag his head. It's going to be hard for me to move Tim here when his weight's on that leg. So I need his weight to lean back. Now I can move him pretty easily. So I make my step forward, I tag his head, and I scoop this foot up and I scoop him off to the side. At the same time, I'm swooping and spinning. I'm also kicking this leg like a crescent step out and then in. So step here. I cup over with this left hand of mine on Tim's thigh. Now I end up in this position. In which case, if I drive my knee all the way down to the mat, if I can get myself behind this arm of Tim's, I can now start transitioning towards the back and working towards chokes and things along those lines. So, one time, I'm here in position. I'm not going to look to come in for a double overpass and just flatten him out. If he's bigger and stronger, generally unreasonable. I'm not going to look to drive this knee through and just use my shoulder pressure to flatten his face. It's, again, probably not going to happen if he's way bigger, way stronger. I'm going to be more mobile. I'm going to bypass his legs. I'm going to force a great scramble where I've got a good chance of taking his back. Here, step, come across. At the same time now, I'm driving this knee all the way down to the mat. As I do, I'm going to look to find a way underneath Tim's arm here. Whether it's passing this arm across, however it may be, I make my transition behind, and I can start sinking hooks. Boom, working for my chokes. So that's one variation from the leg drag, which is a favorite of mine. But we'll talk now about a little bit more of a traditional guard pass, being the knee cut pass. So if I'm here on top of Tim, when I work my knee cut again, if he's bigger and stronger, probably going to be unrealistic for me to come in, boom, flatten him all the way out, and smear him into a good side control and hold him down. If he's 200 pounds and I'm a $128, probably unrealistic. However, using that knee cut to get past his legs, and again, force an advantageous scramble, very realistic strategy and one that you see a lot of great little grapplers use against bigger grapplers. Here with him. Right here. As I cut through, here's the position I'm going to land in a lot of the time. As I come through, I'm here. Tim often is going to end up with this knee in front of me, like so. So my knee's trying to drive through, his knee's in front. I'm going to take this hand of mine, I'm going to post it down to the mat. So I have my elbow on his thigh, and I post my hand down towards the mat. So almost like I'm on my fist here. My other hand is going to cut behind Tim's neck. If we're in a gi, I get a grip full of gi, almost like I have my fingers in reaching towards the back of his neck, and I'm going to yoke this in. Now, I'm going to lean my weight onto this forearm of mine and the crook of his hip, and I'm going to kick my leg out. At the same time, I'm pulling down on his neck as I cut and swing the angle, so I'm almost at a north-south. I'm not putting that much weight on Tim, so predictably he's going to turn into me. Here, yep, I come over the top of this arm, make him spin back behind, and now I can start fishing for hooks on the far side, or doing whatever I need to do to take the bag. So again, boom, I cuff the side of the head as I make my step, boom, I knock him over, I'm here in position, punch this hand over, grip, or just cup on the back of the head. As I sprawl, I lean all my way through this forearm, I sprawl, my hips start to move away, Tim predictably turns up and in, I back step, come over this arm, spin back behind, start sneaking hooks, working for the back mount from here. And again, I think as a smaller grappler, even as a grappler just in the modern competition world, I think it's important to start to tune into the data that's out there, figure out what strategies work and what don't at the highest levels. And if you watch really good little guys against really good big guys, you're not seeing them try to get side control and flatten anybody out. Generally speaking, you're looking at advantageous scrambles, submissions, and a lot of great back takes. So those were two of my favorites. I hope that was helpful for you guys. In our next video, video number 3 of this Beating Bigger and Stronger Grappler series, we're going to talk about 2 leg locks I particularly like for beating bigger guys. So I look forward to meeting you guys or seeing you guys in that next video. I hope you like this one.